Welcome everyone to my channel. Have you only been playing Pokelands Legend for a few days, but your diamonds are already completely gone, you don't have enough gold to upgrade your gear, and no matter how much you farm Common Shard, you still can't get enough strike cards? If you're experiencing this, it means you're probably spending your resources in the wrong places right from the beginning. Today, I'm going to share all players usually don't know. Follow these tips correctly, and you'll save a huge amount of farming time while building a much stronger team compared to the average player. Before getting into the tips, I want to quickly introduce the app I'm currently using to play this version of Pokelands Legend, which is X7 Game. This is a mobile game distribution platform with its own welfare section for players, including discount coupons and in-game item rewards. What I like most is that topping up through X7 Game is around 40% cheaper than topping up directly in the original game. So if you're planning to spend money later on, you should consider using this app to optimize your costs. The app also has a gift code section. You just need to check every day, and if you don't see a code on a certain day, it means that the current code has already expired. Just make it a habit to check every day so you don't miss anything. Now, let's get back to the resource-saving tips in the game. The first tip is related to when you start on a new server. When a new server opens, the first 3 days are always the period with the most generous launch rewards, and they are only available during this time. So, if possible, you should join right when the server opens and grind continuously during those first 3 days to collect as many starting resources as possible, instead of waiting a few days before taking the game seriously. This is the foundation that determines your development speed throughout the long journey ahead. Next is a tip about free diamonds, something that many new players rush to spend real money on, even though they can actually be farmed. The first method is to master Guild War, meaning you need to secure high reward positions in the guild. Maintaining a good position can provide a significant amount of diamonds every day. The second method is more complicated but extremely effective, which is taking advantage of the invite to return feature. You create additional accounts, level them up to around level 40, and then leave them offline for 15 days. After 15 days, when those secondary accounts log back in, the return section will appear. You enter the code from your main account there to receive a large amount of diamonds transferred back to your main account. This is a method that many veteran players use to accumulate diamonds without spending money. It does take some effort to prepare the secondary accounts, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. For gold, the tip I want to emphasize is the Pokemon renting feature, which allows you to rent out pets. This is almost an unlimited source of gold if you know how to take advantage of it. The method is to have your secondary account participate in the tournament, then choose to rent a pet from your main account for the secondary account to use. The amount of gold you receive will be proportional to the level of the pet you rent out, so the stronger the pet, the more gold you earn. If you already have a few active secondary accounts, this is the most consistent gold farming method I've tried. Next is Common Shard, a resource with a really good exchange rate in this version of Pokelands. 100 Common Shard can be exchanged for up to 900 strike cards, which is 9 times the amount. Because the exchange rate is so favorable, the optimal strategy is to prioritize farming in the Rebellion B area continuously to collect Common Shard, then exchange them in bulk for strike cards instead of directly farming strike cards. On top of that, don't miss the Pokemon Transport event during the weeks when Common Shard is available as a drop, because this is a significant additional source that can help you shorten the time needed to accumulate them. When it comes to choosing your main pet in the early game, I recommend using Charris before reaching level 18, because it's a free pet and strong enough to carry you through the early stages. After reaching level 18 and unlocking the maze area, you should switch to catching Aloha News as your main pet. The cost to catch it is only around 200 diamonds, which is quite cheap compared to the benefits it provides. One thing to keep in mind is that Aloha News only appears at night, and it usually only shows up when a new server has just opened. So if you miss this timing, it will be difficult to catch it later. Now we come to what I think is the most important part: spending your diamonds in the right places. Many new players waste their diamonds by dumping them into shops with poor reward rates or trying their luck in places that simply aren't worth it. Based on my experience, you should only focus your diamonds on three main areas. First is the command order event, because this is exclusive content and there is no other way to obtain similar rewards. Second is doing around 30 to 50 gacha pulls per event to hunt for passive skills, accessory chests, and soul gear. These are all items that cannot be exchanged using gold or normal resources. Third is saving diamonds specifically for catching Aloha news, as I mentioned earlier. A reasonable goal for your first month is to accumulate around 2,000 poke shards and 2,000 strike cards. And if you want to build your team as cost effectively as possible, you can consider a combination that only requires around 1,000 poke shards to complete. The final tip is related to upgrading equipment, specifically enchanting. A lot of new players see a good piece of gear and immediately enchant it. But this method actually consumes twice as much fuel compared to the optimal approach. The proper method I use is to participate in World War to earn coins, then use those coins to buy silver quality equipment. Upgrade this silver equipment to the maximum level, then combine it with rare or blue quality equipment, and only after that should you enchant your main equipment. With the same amount of fuel invested, this method allows your equipment to reach a much higher level compared to enchanting it directly from the beginning. To sum everything up, the seven points you need to remember are: grind continuously for the first 3 days on a new server, take advantage of Guild War and invite to return to get free diamonds, use Pokemon renting to farm unlimited gold, prioritize farming common shard and exchange it for strike cards at the favorable rate. Use Charris first and then switch to Aloha News at the right time. Only spend diamonds in the 3 most valuable places, and upgrade your equipment through the proper process from silver gear to your main equipment to save fuel. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to follow more gaming tips from me. And if you haven't used X7 Game yet, don't forget to download the app to get cheaper top-up deals and conveniently keep track of daily gift codes in the app. See you guys in the next video.